Yes, guys, I'm preparing right now for a really big trading position on Bitcoin, and I'm gonna show you today what I'm exactly doing, what are the reasons for this, and how you can also take advantage of this. If you think that is interesting, then make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these valuable lessons. And now let's directly get into it. But before I'm going to start today, we talk about today's sponsor, VoluMint. VoluMint is a decentralized market maker with their own token, and the token is a nice vehicle to make some passive income as you are staking the token and receive in return a profit share of the revenue that they're generating with their decentralized market making. They are doing this for some big projects out there already. One of them is PAL. If you don't know that project, it's spelled PAAL. It is a big project, and that's right now on some exchanges already tradable. And here you can see also VoluMint is right now listed on Uniswap and MEXC and other ecosystem partners, including and are not limited to Binance, BYBIT, PancakeSwap, and Ethereum. The decentralized market making of VoluMint is the first of its kind and is powered by AI. So they have a special AI tool for the market making, and that reduces the cost for market making by a factor of 5x. You don't have any monthly fees for the market making like with other market makers, and that makes it also quite flexible for everybody that would like to use that service. So if you're interested in using their services or get a share of their revenue, then buy some tokens, stake them, or just reach out to them if you need some market making. I will leave all the links that you need in the pinned comment below and also in the description of this video. So now let me start off today's episode with the reason why Bitcoin is actually going down. I think we have first to understand what's here exactly happening so that we can position ourselves for this big trading opportunity that is coming up. One reason why we are going down is that miners are selling since quite a while already, and they're selling also quite a lot. And I want to show it to you. You can see here when Bitcoin hit price. So that was in 2021. So we have to go here a little bit further into here, that area. Once Bitcoin went over $37,000, the miners started to sell. And you see here, the higher the price goes, the more they are selling, and they haven't stopped selling yet. There's still a net inflow on exchanges from miners. I think it's around 10,000 Bitcoin a day. Something between these lines that is flowing into exchanges from miners taking profit basically to continue to finance their operations. So that is one reason why we are continuously going down. But this will of course stop at some point because either the miners are running out of Bitcoin that they want to that they are selling, or they are just stopping because they want to have a small cushion for further price increase in Bitcoin and don't want basically to crush the price by selling too much of the Bitcoin. So at some point they are going to stop and basically go back to prior levels where they're only covering operational costs. Here, maybe because it's a pre-halving, would understand if they are trying to cash out as much as possible right now because they only get half the coins after the halving in April, so which is more or less only 2 months away, a little bit more than 2 months. So that could be also a reason why they are selling here right now. Another reason why we are still going down gradually is that Grayscale is redeeming their GBTC shares against a Bitcoin, and investors are selling them off. Here you have to understand why they are selling them off. I will get in a moment into that. So first of all, I want to show you that they're really here having a huge outflow. Look here at the withdrawals. So basically you can see here every time when they are sending Bitcoin to Coinbase. So you see here they have 19 hours ago sent again almost 1,000 Bitcoins to Coinbase to sell them off there, because Coinbase is their official partner for redeeming GBTC against Bitcoin and then basically liquidating it so the investors can take profit. So, but why are so many investors redeeming right now their GBTC against real Bitcoin since there is the ETF? First of all, Grayscale is the most expensive ETF provider out there. So they're charging 1.5% and everybody else is under 0.5% in their fees that they're charging on the ETF. So people are liquidating their Grayscale positions to potentially go into other ETFs with way lower fees, which makes also a lot of sense. So the other reason why they are getting out of the GBTC is that the discount is basically gone, and people that took advantage here last year in February of that massive discount on GBTC to the real Bitcoin price are also taking profit. So you had here in February almost 50% discount between GBTC and the Bitcoin spot price. So that means they bought GBTC shares that should be normally pegged to the Bitcoin price at a 50% discount to the Bitcoin price. So if Bitcoin was $10,000 as an example, they bought GBTC at $5,000. Now they can redeem their GBTC for Bitcoin and selling it for a profit, which makes a lot of sense because you have to understand Bitcoin was over that time also appreciating in value. So I have not to go look in the charts where we were in February, but I know where we were around here, April, March, somewhere there we were at $18,000. So if you had here a 40% discount, you bought basically Bitcoin at $12,000. Now at 48, you made 4x your money by having GBTC. Of course, you're going to take profit, you know. So I understand. I totally understand to do that, you know. They are rotating into other things. So it makes a lot of sense that we see some profit taking. So the only problem with that is we don't know when it's going to stop, because when we're looking here at the holdings, they're still holding 571,000 Bitcoins, almost $23.8 billion worth of Bitcoins, what they are holding here. And that is a huge amount. So of course, this will not all exit tomorrow, the Grayscale fund. If they keep doing it gradually, we will always have that consistent sell pressure on Bitcoin until other players are absorbing that. I hope for Grayscale that they are speaking to other counterparties to absorb partially the outflow so that this does not all hit the market every single day. Because then we could be in for quite a ride to the downside and potentially even lower than anybody is expecting. So now, as I just said, I'm not expecting it. This is going to happen. I believe that people that invest with Grayscale are institutional investors or accredited investors. They know what they are doing. And they also understand that if everybody keeps selling out of Grayscale, their price of Bitcoin will get crushed. And that is also not in their interest. So that's why I believe at some point investors are realizing, okay, here is the line. We have to stop or we go way lower. And that is maybe below my entry price. That's, not the price where I would like to sell. So they just stop. So, but this point for now is not reached yet. I just hope that when on Monday the markets are opening, we don't see again on Monday another Grayscale outflow. And if we see another outflow, that it's something small like maybe 200 Bitcoin or something, but not here like almost every single day and multiple times also. Look here, this outflow, it was not only one transaction with like 965 Bitcoin. If we count this, only yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. So almost, there were some smaller numbers in there, but let's say roughly 16,000 Bitcoins that they have sold in a single day. So now I must say Bitcoin did quite a good job for maintaining the price level where it was more or less. But if they keep doing that every single day, first of all, they can do this for another month before they're running out, which is bad. So that would mean Bitcoin would do something like this here over the next whole month. So potentially even go lower than $30,000. But again, I'm not expecting something like this right now. So when we're looking here at the charts, what we can clearly see is that Bitcoin got rejected from the 50 moving average. I could still imagine myself to see here a turnaround of a retest with a potential move higher. And I still believe that this is in the cards, and I'm going to show you in a moment why I believe that is still possible. But it has to happen also here latest by Monday, Tuesday. If it's not happening, then most likely we go first a little bit lower. The case scenario would be that we come back down and touch the 200 moving average here, but I would not like to see this to be happening right now because that's a $10,000 drop more or less. I would like to see something like this here. So sometime in February, that we come down and touch the 200 and bounce from it off, as long as the 200 is also continuing this trajectory. So if we come here, okay, just before the halving. So if we get after the halving or just around the halving, a touch on a 200 and bounce back up, absolutely fine, no matter where we are. I just don't want to see this happening sub $40,000. But yeah, there's a lot of time in between to see what's going to happen. So we still have that massive resistance above us from $44,000 to $47,000. Nothing has changed there. Yeah, so here I wait for a reclaim on the higher time frames of the 50 moving average. When I go into the lower time frames, we saw yesterday here a massive liquidation hunt to the downside, here all the way from $42,700 here to the downside, then some chop, and then again down. So here, when this happened, I started to have some internet problems. I wanted to make a post and say, this looks pretty ugly and dangerous. And yeah, just before my internet worked properly again, it started dropping and it was too late to make the post, unfortunately. But I had a feeling that this is going to happen. So there was a big hunch telling me that this is going to happen. So now we came straight back up afterwards, which is a good sign that we got kind of like a strong reaction here on the 30 minutes chart back to the upside. But now we are still struggling to reclaim the weekly open, the daily open, and the Monday low. So we need to reclaim the Monday low over the next 2 days so that we have any chance to move here over the next week back to like $44,000. This whole area here is for now a bear trap. That's how I consider it. If we would have closed another red candle under $40,500, so instead of getting here the bounce to the upside, another red one down, then I would have said, okay, it's done. We go sub $40,000. But this did not happen. We got a strong reaction to the upside. Here is somewhat of flag or a symmetrical triangle, however you want to see that. So just if we treat this as a symmetrical triangle, that should bring us back to over $42,000 again. And if we are treating this as a bull flag, then this should bring us to 43,000 or something. Yeah, 43,300. But you see we are breaking already down here, even if I draw here a proper line. So if there's not in the next... Yeah, okay. So we're going to see with this candle now if we are actually moving a little bit lower again or not. If it comes back up here above that line, then most likely we are going to see soon a breakout from this here. But if we close that candle outside this upward sloping trend line, then here also more downside programmed. Now, what is the trade that I'm looking at? First of all, I believe, let me go here to a higher time frame. Every time that we're coming down and retesting this downward sloping support line here on the 4-hourly chart is a long opportunity. So look here, for example, the last time, nice opportunity to scalp long if we would have done this, we could have made 4%, 25x leverage, 100%, 50x leverage, 200%. Really, really easy here by playing support and resistance in this broadening falling wedge pattern here. The next time that we're coming down here, I actually have some limit orders placed, and I have set this before around here. So actually, let me make here a zone out of this. This here is for me a big buy zone. Every time that we get into this zone here, I'm buying or adding to a long position. This is the most important support area, because if we are losing this area, we are going sub $40,000 really quick. So then the next bigger level that could hold us would be potentially here at like $39,700 and $39,600 approximately. And I don't want to see that we are losing this level. So for now, every time that we're dipping into this, I'm adding to my long position or buying more Bitcoin. So if we are going lower, then also I will keep adding unless we are losing $37,000. If we're losing $37,000, I'm gonna cut my trade no matter how bad it looks. But this is right now for me the biggest trading opportunity in a long time, because we see here this big reaction to the upside, here reaction to the upside. Look at these moves, here reaction to the upside. And I believe that we are really, really close to the potential local bottom. So why do I believe that? Because Bitcoin has already moved here almost 20% to the downside. So we saw here almost 18% correction to the downside from the local top here at $49,000. And when we go back, where we had similar events. So let's look, for example, from here to there. See, so that was also just 21% that moved to the downside from this high point here. Also this one here, that was really short-lived. That was only 10%. So like a 10 to 20% correction is not really crazy. We can potentially go lower. So, but for the time being, I'm not seeing that. I believe that we are really close here to bottoming out. What I expect here on the higher time frames is some sideways chop here into early next week, and then by the end of next week, I expect a pop back to the upside. How high we are going, I'm not quite sure about that. I will be honest there, but if I had to make a guess, I would say $46,000 might be in here. And guys, if you want to trade these trades with me together, don't forget, on BYBIT you still get $30,000 absolutely for free for using my specific link here. And also BYBIT has right now a trading competition going on. Just let me see. Trade Masters, the second the Grand Prix in the second series is running. You still can register for that. So your registration is still open for this. And then you can enter this competition and potentially win $2.2 million in prize money. The only thing that you have to do is sign up with my link, and then go here to the trading competition. I will also leave a link for that in the description under here my usual BYBIT link. So under this link will be a link to that trading competition if you want to take part in that. So, and otherwise, if you are not a versatile trader and you just want to follow what I do, then you can copy trade me on CoinW without any KYC or a VPN that you need. And for the highest bonus in the industry, still fair desk, $120,000. And there you can also just follow my trades. When we are having a look at liquidation levels, here you can see that we finally dipped into these lower leveraged long liquidations. That I also pointed out that there is a scenario where we could potentially dip into it, but would then also come quickly back up. And that's more or less what we saw here right now. But it does not mean that we cannot come a little bit lower to clean a little bit more of this up and then finally get a proper bounce back to the upside. Unless we are breaking here this downward sloping trend line, this might be the most likely outcome for Bitcoin right now, that we are seeing here all the time lower highs with still higher lows, but here on a macro structure with lower lows. So because here higher low, lower low, then the next one would be here. Here would be a new lower high, and so on and so on. until we get at some point a nice bounce here to the upside. What I like is that here again, more shorts. This is filling up more and more and more. And here also more and more degenerate people aping in with 50 and 100x long, which will lead to a massive short squeeze at some point. So the question is when? Like I said, there is the possibility that this is going to happen once we are dipping here under $40,000 briefly and then shoot straight back up potentially here in the golden ratio, the 0.65, 0.618, around $46,300. On the liquidation heat map, also here, we see that the long liquidations here were cleaned up quite well in this recent downwards move. Now liquidity is again to the upside. The closest and biggest level is $42,300. There's also a resistance level sitting right now, hence why we have a lot of liquidation prices also around this level when it comes to short positions. So if we break through that, through this sell wall and that resistance and also these liquidation levels, then we could from here see a short squeeze to $43,000 approximately, really quickly. We have also some divergences playing out. I just want to see here on which chart that was here. Can make an argument. So this is not really a big bullish divergence yet. We can say there is potentially one in the making where we have the RSI going slightly up and price action going down. So now if the RSI starts going to go up over the next couple hours and does something like this, and the Bitcoin price is respecting this downward sloping trend line, then we know, okay, there is now a bigger bullish divergence and at some point, potentially it's going to play out. And then we can take advantage of that with the trade setup that I had given you earlier that I'm looking at. But I will also inform you about this trade on my Telegram and also on Discord when I'm actually putting a lot of money into that specific trade here. But like I said, for the time being, for that, Bitcoin has to come first a little bit lower. Just in case that Bitcoin does not come back here, the next level of interest for me to go along would be if we are going above $43,000. Only then, $43,200 here, that level. That is the level that I want to see to be broken to open another long position. I would not open a long position here when we are breaking out of that broadening falling wedge because we are basically running immediately into resistance. So that's why I'm not really interested in that. I would like to see here this volume area to be reclaimed and that we continue to push higher before I would open down here a long position. So if we, again, dip here into this area, that is a good liquidity area where we have demand, and it makes a lot of sense to take a position from here. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. So please make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'm going to see you then again tomorrow.